We're going live. President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, just arrived in Honduras for the 9th summit of CELAC. We're seeing the live images as the president, the plane from the Mexican Air Force just landed in Tegucigalpa, carrying the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, who is arriving to participate in the 9th summit of CELAC. We're seeing the images. President Sheinbaum is coming down the plane, officially being welcomed with all honors here at the International Airport in Tegucigalpa by former President Zelaya, who is giving her the welcome here at the airport. From here, she will go probably very certain to the Central Bank of Honduras, where this paramount 9th CELAC Summit is going to be held, heads of states and government, which began yesterday with the participation, with the meeting of the foreign ministers of the member countries that define the points that we're going to be discussed, and of course that final declarations that we're going to be paying very close attention, which is going to define the guidelines and the strategies for the region to move forward and face as unison the challenges that the world is facing today. This is an important meeting that comes at a time of uncertainty in the world, with the recent impositions of the so-called misnamed reciprocal tariff by the U.S. President Donald Trump, which is impacting hardly the global markets. And this is a way to come together, the countries, the peoples of the region, to create a strategic way as a bloc to come forward and to strengthen their ties of cooperations and coordination to face all these difficulties. And also it's a region that is facing different issues with the economy and the migration crisis, which is also going to be part of the topics that are going to be discussed in this 9th CELAC Summit, as the different heads of states and governments have already arrived in the country. Now is the image of the Mexican president that is right now arriving in Tegucigalpa to take part in this paramount summit, to continue furthering and strengthening their relationship ties and integration of the region, which is the main purpose and the main objective of this summit and of CELAC in general, to be able to coordinate efforts to face the challenges that the peoples of the region have to overcome. So this is the news right now. The President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, has just arrived to take part in the 9th CELAC Summit, which started yesterday with the meeting of foreign ministers of member countries. I'm going to stay tuned, pay attention to see if she provides any statements before continuing on her official agenda here in Tegucigalpa, before going to the press. This appears is going to be some kind of bilateral dialogue. Let's see if we have statements in the coming minutes by the President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, that just arrived in Honduras to take part in the 9th CELAC Summit. As we were saying, the 9th CELAC Summit began on Tuesday with the meeting of the foreign ministers of the member countries that fine-tuned the topics that were going to be discussed, that are going to be addressed by the heads of states right now in the coming meeting that is about to begin in an hour and a half. Is when the dialogues between the heads of state is expected to begin. And of course, different sectors, different topics are on the main agenda. The tariff, the global situation in trade after the impacts of the unilateral tariffs imposed by the U.S. government, the migration crisis, how to foster regional integration, this is something that the foreign minister of Honduras has praised as one of the main achievements of President Xiomara Castro's pro tempore presidency of the organization of the regional bloc, which CELAC has been able to maintain its unity. Unity has been kept within CELAC despite ideological differences, and unity is the way forward, without doubt, to continue moving forward as a united front to face the challenges coming from Western governments and the neoliberal and fascist trends that have begun to emerge around the world, especially in Europe. The President is holding bilateral talks. Let's see if we can have audio and we can listen what is being said. Since we are not able to listen to what is being said, so we continue to see these live images coming from Honduras as the Mexican president is being received with all honors before going to attend the 9th CELAC Summit at the central bank in Tegucigalpa, the central bank of Honduras. Like we were saying, the meeting of foreign ministers of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, which was the first step of this 9th summit, was held on Tuesday, and it coordinated the actions to face global challenges and advance in regional integration. After this CELAC summit, the pro tempore presidency is going to be passed from the Honduran president Xiomara Castro to her Colombian counterpart Gustavo Petro, who has already pledged also to continue working in fostering unity to face the agenda. So that meeting of foreign ministers that was held on Tuesday set the ground for the presidential summit that is going to take place in less than 2 hours, according to the schedule, with different topics such as economic cooperation, climate change, which is also one of the main hot topics right now, how to face the climate crisis and how to prevent the climate crisis to go even deeper in order for humanity to be able to exist in this world, and of course also food security. The discussions were based, in yesterday's meetings, were based on the analysis of sectors of education, health, environment, the economy of indigenous peoples, and for descendants, transparency, and the fight against corruption, migration, and peace. Those were the main topics addressed during that foreign minister, which are going to be the core of the final declaration that is expected to be approved by the member states, all 33 member states of CELAC, which are gathering here in Honduras, which for Honduras is also a milestone, because this is the first time that Honduras is the headquarters, the seat of this kind of meeting, and after we could say a year of numerous achievements reached by the Honduran pro tempore presidency under the leadership of President Xiomara Castro. The Colombian Foreign Ministry also stressed that this South American country Colombia reaffirmed its commitment to integration and joint action in the face of global challenges, as it prepares also to receive the pro tempore presidency of CELAC following this meeting. The Foreign Minister of Uruguay, Mario Lubetkin, also present at the meeting, said that Uruguay is committed to fight against hunger and poverty and environmental protection and energy transition. Also pointed out that the member countries should outline their strategies to consolidate mechanisms to face natural disasters or extreme weather phenomena, something that we have been seeing that has been impacting not the world in general, but also very strongly the South American region, with lots of rains, landslides, flooding, like we have seen, and many wildfires like we have seen across South American nations in Brazil, Argentina. Bolivia right now is facing an emergency disaster because of very strong rains. Meanwhile, for the Cuban side, the Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez Parrilla, who is also present at the summit, also Cuba is being represented by the Cuban president, also called for unity. Those were the live images that were coming from Honduras. The president of Mexico just arrived to take part in less than a couple of hours in the 9th CELAC Summit, alongside other heads of state of the member countries that are present already in Honduras, including the president of Bolivia, of Cuba, of Colombia, of course, which is going to receive the pro tempore presidency after the summit. And we're going to be paying attention to that final declaration, of course, to the statements of the heads of states, which is expected to happen in the next couple of hours. So stay tuned for teleSUR English for that. For now, we are saying goodbye to this broadcast.